My name is Gary Walker. I've been involved in scouting and activities for young men and young women over a period of close to 50 years now. I would lose count of all of the hours that I spent in the mountains and mountain retreats and a variety of settings, helping young men and young women have extraordinary life-changing experiences. I'm a strong believer in the power of outdoor activities, and particularly in the right settings and mountain retreats. Things happen there that won't happen any place else with the youth of the church. So when Eric Dolly came to me and said that he had found a ranch up close to Catherine Creek Girls Camp, which I was very familiar with, I got pretty excited. I have dreamed about having a special retreat, a place for young men and young women to go that was controlled and it had the right setting, the right spirit, the right atmosphere to allow this experience to go on year after year. This was just a natural setting for us to put a group together and begin the process of building a special place for the youth of the church to have these, what I've always referred to as sacred grove experiences. So I've been all over the Idaho mountains in this part of the state looking for just that right kind of a camp, and I was stunned at the amount of flat space that's on the top of this mountain. There's so much activity that can take place there. The only restriction that perhaps we'll have is that the county doesn't want us to have more than 350 campers in any given night.
Imagine being a bishop. Wouldn't it be wonderful if you could dedicate one evening, drive to one location, spend half of your evening with the young men, half of the evening with young women at girls' camp? That's something that can happen because this young men's property is adjacent to the Catherine Creek Girls Camp property.
There will be 3 basic camping sites. We'll have the main campsite, which will have a lodge, a caretaker's cabin, individual Adirondack units for individual groups to stay in. There will be a playing field. There will be activity areas. There will be pavilions. We'll be able to feed 350 at one time in the lodge. The kitchen area will be spectacular, and people who love to cook for kids in mountain settings will love this kitchen area. It'll be first class. The caretaker's cabin will have room for at least 2 caretaker, husband and wife teams, in addition to an upstairs where people like me can bring my wife if I'm going to speak to a group of youth on a particular night, and I can stay in a cabin setting that would be very much like a motel, a nice motel room that I would rent with private bath, all of the amenities that I would need, and a view of the Eagle Cap mountain range that's breathtaking.
In many instances, groups are much smaller than that. We will have 2 smaller kitchens and camps in other parts of the property, so that at any given point in time, we could have 3 large groups of people here.
As I've had a chance to talk about this amongst stake presidents in the area, I find there's a tremendous amount of excitement because interestingly enough, it's not church-owned. It's owned by a separate private foundation for the use by church groups, and many people like that because they're not going to be competing. All of our church camps have been designated as for young women first, and then the young men look for a place from there. This will be principally young men first.
There will be a number of activities that are here. Catherine Creek runs through part of the property, so there will be opportunities to have activities that are associated with the creek. There are miles of hiking trails on this and adjoining properties. There is a rappelling cliff that has already been used for rappelling. In fact, people with years of experience said this cliff, this hill was made to rappel off of.
All of those amenities are a part of this camp, and so just about any use that wards and stakes and youth groups can think of can be done in this setting. The prices and the pricing for the use of the camp will be extremely fair and low priced enough that any stake or ward can afford the use of the camp as compared to most places they can go. It's extremely private. The only neighbors we have are the Catherine Creek Girls Camp. It's also easy to get to. When I first started talking about this with people in the Boise, Meridian, Nampa area, they wanted to know how far away it was, and so I measured through Google Maps, and I found out that it is just within it's a few miles less to get to this new young men's camp than it is to go to the Boy Scout camp in McCall.